So Bruce Springsteen was in the news for, the first report I read said he'd been busted for DWI, but that his blood alcohol level was only 0.2, which is pretty well below the legal threshold. But so that left open the question, like, why did they arrest him when he wasn't over the limit? And the follow-up report, if I read it right, makes it sound like he really was being an asshole. He did a couple of shots with a bunch of fans, a bunch of his adoring fans, but he did it while it sounds like he did it while he was sitting on his motorcycle with the engine running, and that's a no-no. You can't. That's considered DWI. The reason I know this is I discovered completely by chance that I was DWI without realizing it. This happened when I had a car. I had a Lincoln Town car. It used to be my dad's, and part of my summertime ritual for a little while was to come home from the bar after 3 or 4 beers and sit in that car and blast the air conditioner during the hot summertime. The air conditioning on that car was absolutely boss. Little did I know that simply putting the key in the ignition and starting the engine was enough that I could have got busted. And I get it, makes sense as far as from enforcement perspective. You gotta be strict, but I had the club on the steering wheel, but that wouldn't have prevented the car from moving forward. So there'd be no argument. I was DUI, but I told this to somebody who said that, yeah, you got to be careful because cops hang out outside of bars until closing time, and they wait for drunk-looking people to come out and get in their car and start the engine, and they immediately interrogate and breathalyze and all that. So I dodged that bullet, but just a little friendly advice. But I have another Bruce Springsteen-related anecdote that I just happened to be talking to somebody about this just a couple of days ago. I once downloaded the complete Springsteen discography, all the live albums, studio albums. I think there were even bootlegs in there. I didn't recognize the newer ones, and I didn't expect to because I kind of gave up on Springsteen a long time ago, but I was looking through the titles of the albums that he released while I was still paying attention. There was one in there that I did not recognize. It had this really amateur-looking artwork on the cover, and the album was called Before the Fame. I started playing it, and I got to the first song, the second, and the third, and I was just like, this stuff is horrible. He sounded sick, and the songs didn't make any sense. They were just like this random stringing together of words, and I even started to question if this was really even him. So I looked it up, and as the title of the album should have given it away, Before the Fame, these were demo songs and just works in progress that he was working on when he was like 19 years old before he hit it big. And he was writing like 12 songs a day and just singing and getting all this effluvia out of his system. And I think this was in 2001 that his former producer, who he ditched and who always resented that and still holds a grudge against Springsteen, that producer decided to release some of those tracks. And once I realized what I was listening to, it's like, I can't keep listening to this. This is like private material. I mean, it's Bruce. His career obviously could withstand this, but it just felt like I was listening to somebody's very private letters, or they're reading their mail. So I quit listening to it and never finished. But if you ever see that album up for sale on Amazon or eBay or something, I haven't looked for this in a while, but it used to be going for like $75 because it was considered a rare collectible. But being a rare collectible doesn't mean it's something you'd actually want to listen to. The stuff was so bad. I will give it as much credit in that I hear glimmers of Greetings from Asbury Park in some of those songs, some of what I listened to, glimmers of what was to come in that album, but that's about all I could say for Before the Fame. So those are my Bruce related stories for you there.